Hi, in this lesson we're going to study what causes the forehand ground stroke to land into the net and how can we fix that. The first problem that can cause the forehand ground strokes to send the balls into the net is racket face too close at contact. Allow me to explain. One of the reasons why your racket face could be closed at contact is your grip. If you happen to be using a Western grip when hitting your forehand ground strokes, where your palm is under the bottom of your racket grip, that kind of holding the racket favors the high bouncing balls, but you would have problems with the medium high or the low ones. Why? Because as you can tell by looking at my racket, the racket face is slightly closed. I would say like 30 degrees pointing towards the ground, and because of that I could be hitting a lot of balls into the net. So to fix that, I recommend you slowly switch your grip towards the semi-western or eastern when hitting your forehand ground strokes. Those kind of grips open the racket face, and at contact you see you have more of a square plane, or your racket face is pointing forward, which allows you to hit more balls over the net. So if you're using an extreme grip, I would suggest to slowly switch towards semi-western or eastern. The second reason why your racket face is closed at contact is because of the timing. What does it mean? You could be making contact with the ball too late. If that is the case, if you wait for the ball too much to get close to you, making a late contact will have you hit the ball with the racket face slightly closed, compared to hitting the ball out in front, where you can see that the racket face is square toward the net. So if your timing is off, I would like you to work on your preparation, which means as soon as you see the ball coming, and as soon as you recognize that you will be hitting a forehand ground stroke, I would like you to turn sideways, prepare for the ball by turning shoulders and getting the racket set behind the path of the incoming ball even before it bounces. And then if you're ready early, hopefully you'll be making contact and swinging at the ball when it is still out in front. All right, so work on your timing, prepare for the ball early, and hopefully make contact with the ball out in front. Another cause for hitting your forehand ground strokes into the net could be the fact that you're not using your knees properly, which means you're not bending to get under the ball and swing low to high. Let me explain. If you keep your knees locked when hitting your ground strokes, as you can see, my racket kind of rolls over the top of the ball, and as a result I'm hitting the balls into the net. That if I keep my knees locked. But if I bend them, I get under the ball, and as I get under the ball by bending my knees, I push up and I swing from low to high. That allows me to send the ball higher over the net. Obviously this is a simple tip, but it can be very powerful if you understand it. So what I mean is, try to get under the ball, okay, by bending your knees, and that will allow you to swing up on the ball, sending the ball higher, okay? Now, bending the knees not only helps with consistency, but you're going to have, by having a lower center of gravity, your balance is much better, and being lower to the ball, you're going to realize that you have a lot more control on your shots. So do bend your knees, and you're going to find yourself hitting more balls over the net. The final cause for hitting balls into the net that we'll talk about in this video is actually the net itself. For the fact that we can see through it when planning our shot placement, that makes us forget about clearing it. But what if the net was like a wall and we couldn't see through it? So you notice I just placed a blanket over the net and it partially covers it, but imagine if the blanket was longer and it would cover the whole net. You would see the net as a wall, and you would be more careful to sending the ball over it, because you don't want the ball to bounce off the wall, right? So I want you to do this visualization technique, to imagine that you cannot see through the net. What would you do? You would send the balls higher, okay? After all, think about it. The net is only 3 feet. The sky is unlimited. Why would you miss the ball in the net and not take advantage of how much height you have? Well, one of the reasons that could be is that if you send the ball higher, you might be afraid that your balls will land too deep. But that's okay, because under this video I have another lesson that you can check out, how to avoid hitting the balls too deep. All right? So remember what we learned in this video. The reasons why you could be hitting the balls into the net is, one, the grip. Make sure you use the Eastern or semi-Western grip. Second one, timing. Try to prepare for the ball early, and the contact with the ball should be out in front of you. And third, which is probably the most important, is imagine that the net is a wall and you want to hit the balls over the wall. All right? I hope these tips will help you, and you're going to find yourself to be more consistent with your forehand ground strokes.